YouTube, what's up? So today I have a very interesting shootout. I just found a 4K setting on my phone for video, so I'm going to see how that does. Might be best to use that for reviews. See the dogs there rolling around in the grass. He don't like it. I just put some flea medicine on him. But we have the Husqvarna TR650, the TR. It is the dirt model, basically, because it has the spoke rims on it. This bike versus this bike, it's so different night and day, it's hard to even compare them in a shootout. So I'm going to go over what I like about this bike and why I own it. And I'm going to go over what I like about my DRZ 400 and why I prefer it. Now, I say that I prefer it, but why do I prefer this bike? So I prefer the DRZ because, as you can see, you can look at she was just washed, but she still got red clay on her. Had to sponge her down and everything. But, needless to say, I like to ride on the dirt more than anything. Okay, that's why I have this girl set up for pretty much dirt only. Got D606s on there because they're really good in the dirt, and they get you there on the road without wearing too bad on the rubber, so you can get a little bit of life out of them. But the DRZ, the main thing I want to go over the DRZ that I like better, now part of it's gearing and part of it's the engine size. So the engine side obviously is 400 cc's. In fact, I think the internet says 398. The Husky is obviously a 650, but it's actually, I think it's bored out 3 cc's over 650. It's the same as the GS 650 engine, but with a little extra oomph because it has a little bit of a bigger piston, only by 3 cms, but still. The thing I really like about the DR is it's a good 100 pounds lighter than the Husky. As you can look at this bike, I mean, look at this bike. Look how thick she is compared to the DR, okay? She feels it. When you push her around and move her around, now she's dirty. She's been actually in my garage. It's spring now. And I've been riding the DR because there's no reason for this bike unless I'm road riding. And that's where I would like this better, okay? I'm getting ready to do a ride on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm going to be going all the way down to the Great Smokies, hanging out there for a couple days, doing the Tail of the Dragon and stuff like that, and then coming back. Now, I would take that bike over the DRZ for that trip. Now, only for one reason, okay? So if you can't afford to have both bikes, then I would say your best, easiest way to get both out of the DRZ is if you know you're going to go do a long ride like that, and you're going to be needing to do 70 to 90. Okay, I mean this will do it with 14 teeth in the front and 44 in the back. It'll actually do 83, but I don't like to push her that hard, because you're giving it all she has to get 83. And I do like to go at least 5-10 over the speed limit with a motorcycle. But with that being said, it'd be easy to just swap out the gearing, maybe go back to the 15 tooth in the front, then it would give you a higher end speed. But then the Husky, on the other hand, already is set up for that, plus it has the 650 cc engine, and it already will go. I mean, I'm sure I've had it over 100. I know that, but I don't know exactly what she'll do. I don't think I've ever topped her out. She's not one of those kind of bikes. I've tried to top out my crotch rocket once, and that sucker will go 185. So after that, I turned it back. I didn't want to go any faster. The road starts looking like a mirror. It's crazy. But so in my opinion, if you are a mainly dirt rider like myself, or at least 50-50 or even 60-40, 40 being dirt, I would still go with the DR. Especially because all I have to do is swap out a front sprocket and boom, I can go on a long road ride and have extra miles per hour. But since I don't have to worry about that, you know, single guy, never going to have kids. So in that aspect, I can have motorcycles because we all know children are expensive, and that's why I can afford them. And I don't have a wife, so, you know, wives can be expensive too. So I hear. But anyways, this 650 on the road is a dream. I love that bike on the road. She weaves in and out and in and out perfectly. She is a real gem on the road. And one of the main things, the reason why I think that is because the gas tank is in the belly here. The fuel tube goes down here and then it fills up the tank down there. So it has a lower center of gravity. And when you have a bike that has a lower center of gravity like that, you know, it's going to feel better on the lower end. But the DRZ, it's, you know, proportionate. It's, I wouldn't say that it's low or high, but I think it does just as well, if not better in the turns than the Husky, because the Husky's, you know, sorry, but I like to call her the fat bitch. You know, she's fat. She needs to lose some weight. If she lost 100 pounds and would get to this, the DRZ 400, she could be a superior bike, but I'll never know. There's no way I can take 100 pounds off that bike, not without stripping everything that I could possibly strip, including all the plastics and lighting. So I'm not going to do it. You know, it's also for me, if I want to take a passenger, I still have my passenger pegs. I have a bag that I have, you know, it's a BMW motard because this came from a BMW dealership up in New Jersey. I didn't buy it brand new. I don't buy brand new bikes, but I bought it off a guy on eBay, really cool guy, and he gave me a hell of a deal on it, so I couldn't pass up. So that's why I have it. You can tell that she's not as clean as the dirt bike because the dirt bike is always in dirt. As you can see from my new exhaust I just put on a little bit ago, and back here, you know, she gets in the dirt and the mud, where this bike, it's just, you know, it's dust, road dirt, and she gets cleaned much less than the dirt bike, because I normally clean the dirt bike every time I go out on a long ride because she comes back covered in mud. So there you go. In my opinion, I'm not gonna ride them today. I will be doing videos with the Husky, though, when I am on the Blue Ridge Parkway and down at the Great Smokies, because I will have her with me instead of the DRZ 400. But in my opinion, that DRZ 400 over here is twice the bike as this bike, the Husky, for my purposes. For all those people that, you know, love the Husky, I know why you love the Husky. It's a wonderful bike. It is. But it's not set up properly for dirt. I mean, look how exposed the radiator is right here behind your fender. I mean, that's horrible spot for dirt riding, and it's a dual sport. And then the engine, you know, it's pretty much exposed on the bottom. You know, you need a bash plate, which mine's coming in the mail tomorrow, actually. I'll be doing a how-to on that. But you need that just because, even more so than a regular bike, because on a regular bike, at least there's steel tubing going across underneath. Where this is kind of exposed, it's hooked in the front and the back area towards the middle. So, in my opinion, again, DRZ 400 wins the shootout, hands down, no questions asked. It is the bike. The TR650, awesome bike. If you do more road riding than dirt, or let's say you do only road riding, this bike is the bomb, because you can do all the road riding you want, you can go as fast as you want, and if you want to get into some dirt, because I still put the dual sport tires on them. They're not as aggressive, you know. I can put my finger down in there, but, you know, sideways. But if I want to go on some fire roads or dirt roads, like I take it up the Dolly Sods sometimes when I'm out hiking around, you know, for that. But otherwise, she's just not my cup of tea. She's more for when I'm going riding with my pops. He does pretty much all road riding. He'll do some fire roads and stuff, but that's pretty much it. He sticks to that. So, Husky, just a main thing. Anybody that's going to be dirt riding, she's heavy, and she feels heavy. She really does. And the DRZ, she don't weigh all that much less. I mean, 100 pounds is a lot, but I think it's a little more than 100 pounds less. But still, you really feel it. I mean, when you move that, it feels like you're moving 2 of this. Okay, and the same things when you're going in turns and stuff, you're gonna feel that. And if you're gonna go road riding, if you go down on this versus this, it's gonna take everything you got to pick that up if you're by yourself. So my dad actually, he was going around a really sharp turn, and don't know if he missed the turn or what, but he slid out and kind of went down with his Husky. And he told me, he said it was everything he had to pick that sucker back up. And I believe it. I've never dropped mine or anything, but I believe it. So I would never take this one dirt riding for that reason, and just for the reason that it's not as dirt worthy. I'd give it 50% of the dirt worthiness the DRZ is. I'd give it 50%. So if you're not an aggressive dirt rider and you're just going on some, OHV trails that are easy, like some of the George Washington National Forest that I put on there, not like the really the harder trails. Yeah, go slow, you'll be fine. Not slow, but slower than the DR. But again, just to recap, both excellent bikes. This one has a much better top speed. I would say it's not as aggressive getting there. Of course, the gearing is different. This bike is more aggressive getting to speed, but it has a very low top speed. 83 being its max. I actually maxed it out there. It does only go 83. I'm sure I could go faster down a hill with that sprocket configuration, but that's where you're at. And the Husky, do 100 all day long, and you won't have any problems. So, road, dirt. Traveling long distance, sports touring, traveling short distances, and taking, lots of trails. Because I like to, again, run the more aggressive tires that aren't as good on the road, and they wear so fast that you want to take this on shorter trips. Because if you take this cross country, you're going to at least have to go with some tires like that to get you there and back. Okay? So that's the shootout. DRZ, again, hands down, wins the shootout, the battle. And the Husky, still an awesome bike that I will never sell. So, peace out. I will do the Husky own review later. I don't know when. Probably right before I go to Blue Ridge Parkway. So, till then, guys, peace out.